Hi, Greg and Abea. This is Ryan Sheffer, PGA professional from Monarch Beach Golf Links, here with a video review from our golf lesson this past weekend. So if we take a look here, I have a before and after swing up here. The left is the before and the right's the after. If we watch this golfer on the left, let's see what happens. So I'll quickly draw a couple reference lines for us to watch. So there's a shaft line right there that we want to pay attention to. So as the club goes back, overall some pretty decent motions taking place. As we come down, though, what we don't like is from this position right here, if I redraw some lines just to show the shaft angle, you can see that red line is pretty close to a 90-degree angle. It's not really what we want to see. We'd like to see that shaft laying down more in that area where it kind of splits those two lines. So the first thing is that we're coming down fairly steeply. So this was one of our main focuses during the lesson, specifically with the full swing. The other thing that we can touch on here in this freeze frame is that the club face is open. It is not pointing down towards the ball. It's actually pointing more towards the net on the right. So most likely the ball is going to want to go to the right. Let's now see what happens as we come down into the shot. You can see you end up actually whiffing that one and missing the ball. In general, though, there are some good motions that are going on here in the golf swing. We just want to fine tune a little bit more of the path going back and how we transition down. Let's take a look at the motion that we're making here on the right. Now the swing is not necessarily perfect, obviously, but I think we have a better understanding here in this swing as to what needs to take place. Let me redraw some of these reference lines. And then we're going to take a look at what happens. So we swing back. The feeling was on this kind of really staying inside, maybe overdoing that a bit. But let's watch the difference on the way down. If you compare that position versus this position right here, again, we're just talking about where the shaft is. That is quite different. So probably a little bit extreme on the right, but I'd much rather see you doing that type of motion than the motion there on the left. So some food for thought. The way that we did this was trying to get a sensation of the right elbow staying close to the body and feeling like you were swinging a little bit more out in that direction. All right, Greg, so now we're taking a look at your golf swing. Let's see what's going on here on the left. So as we swing back, we're going to notice a lot of sway off the ball. So what I'm referring to when I say sway is we're referring to the head position moving outside of that box. We can also see your hips moving more across that yellow line off your right leg. So in general, as you can see those arrows, the weight is moving too much away from the target. It's moving into your right side too much. Let's now take a look and compare to what I'm doing. So this is myself here on the right. I had you film this for me. So as I swing back, what do we see differently in regards to how the body's moving? Well, one, we see a little bit more space between where my hips started. Again, just rewinding. You can see them up against that line. And when I get up towards the top, I've created quite a bit of space off of that line. That is a good thing. So we can see a little bit, potentially too much sway. Now, I was trying to exaggerate this a bit just to kind of show you a little bit more of what I want to see. I probably in my real swing might not look quite to that extreme, but that is more of what I want you to feel in the swing. You can also see that because I've stayed a little bit more centered between those two yellow lines, my head stays in the yellow box. Whereas you can see because your weight is moving too much into your right side, your head is now getting or drifting outside of that box. So let's see what happens on the downswing. So when you downswing, what we want to see happen is, if I clear some of this out, we'd like to see your belt buckle, when you get to about that point in time, almost to be on that yellow line. So let's watch what happens. Here's impact, and you can see a couple things. One, the belt buckle did not get to the yellow line, meaning we still have a lot of weight on your right leg. And the other thing that I don't personally like is the separation that we see between the arms. So right there, you can see that they have some bend in them, and they're actually pretty far apart. Let's look at the difference in my arms. So as I swing down, where'd my belt buckle go? So watch my belt buckle. Bam, right up against the line, even maybe past it. That's what the pro does. So when a pro hits a ball, that's what it will look like. You can see my head staying pretty much inside the box. You can see my hands are much closer together. They don't look quite as far apart when I'm coming through the shot. You can even see that, like right here, how tight that triangle is. When I say triangle, I'm referring to this right here. That's the triangle. So you can see that's much closer together. That's what it should look like. So ways that you can practice this. You could place a ball between the arms. It could be something like a volleyball. It could be something small, even like a tennis ball. Just moving it closer to the wrist. And what you're trying to do is see if you can keep the arms connected while you're doing this. So there was also a drill that we did, which I'll have here in a video, talking about a wall drill. That's going to describe how to eliminate the sway And then the other thing that I'd be recommending for you in your full swing would be doing some swings where you keep a ball between the arms. I think that could be beneficial in helping you to stay a little bit more connected in the swing.
Today, so first thing we talked about was in putting. In putting, what we were referring to was the grip more in the palm. Thumbs were basically right on top. And the stroke in putting was pretty much just toe to toe. In general, we were all putting very, very well. The two most important things are, can you get direction and can you get speed? The next thing we talked about was chipping. In chipping, the key was trying to feel that the weight was more on the left leg, standing a little bit closer to the ball, and then it's a feeling of a small hinge and a turn. That's what really helped you when we came through there. Before, we were seeing you kind of chip, you'd go here and then really quickly kind of get really aggressive with it. So it's more of here and then turn. After that, we talked about full swing. We mainly focused on driver. So with driver, the keys are trying to get the ball position more to the front foot. We had a couple things that we talked about for each of you. So one was that we were seeing too much slide, right? So in the swing going back, we'd see sometimes where the head would move this way. So if for fighting that or improving that, we use a wall drill. So that's where we're here. And we're trying to feel more of this hip move like that, where we create a ball of space. That was the main thing on that side of things. On the other part of it, the tendency sometimes to come a little steep. We come in this, when I say steep, that means that the shaft becomes like a 90-degree angle. We're trying to keep it kind of more down in here when we come down. So to do that, I had to do a little drill where you swung here, and then you try to feel like you swung under yourself, kind of out towards the right. So it would be low takeaway, swinging out that direction. The tendency again is to kind of go here and then loop it. We want to stay low around our body. We're trying to keep this elbow kind of close to your side as you come through. So that's your summary from today. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. It was a pleasure teaching you.
So in conclusion, it was a pleasure teaching you both. I hope you enjoyed your golf lesson, and I hope to see you again here in the near future at Monarch Beach Golf Links.